You're listening to the Soju Sessions, episode 19 on the SojuTalk Nation podcast feed. I'm your host, Crispy, also known as Crispy Wonton or simply just Anton, and on today's show, Priss from the SojuTalk Nation joins us all the way from South Korea. We had a good time talking about where her K-pop fandom began, and it was fun celebrating SOMI. Coming up, my chat with Priss on the Soju Sessions. Joining Soju Sessions this week, a very special guest all the way from South Korea. Influencing the minds of the youth, having a great impact across the world, and one of the main dancers on the SojuTalk Nation Discord. We have Priss. Welcome to the show, Priss.
Hello.
It's great to have you. You and I have a lot of shared interest with various groups and various soloists. And I couldn't think of a better person to talk about this individual this week, because of all of the conversations we've had about how much we adore her and her personality and how much she glows. We are here to discuss SOMI this week.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
I know. Your energy is flowing right through the camera. I think everyone can feel it. But before we get into SOMI, this is the first time having you on the show. So, with new guests, I like to have a little bit of time for them to talk about their origin story. So, Priss, take us through it. When was the first time you started listening to K-pop?
So the first song that I actually liked K-pop, the first song that got me into K-pop was Soju "I Got a Boy" in 2013, because one of my friends was really, really, really trying to get me into SHINee. So she showed me like Lucifer, Ring Ding Dong. And in middle school, I was very girly girl. I was like in a dance team and stuff. So I was just like, boy stuff isn't for me. And I was just like, no, this is not for me. Like, I do not like this. And she was just like, wait. She's like, I have one song. I have to show you one song that will get you into this. And I got hooked. The dance, the music video, the hair color specifically is also like got me. And just like their Girls' Generation, SNSD, however you guys know them, they were just so cute and like so my style. And because of that, she just showed me more of their stuff. And then I think like while she was showing me stuff, Sistar came out too. I think it was like Sistar or Wonder Girls, and we were just like, she was just forcing me dive into the K-pop girl group section, because I was not into any of her boy group stuff that she was like trying so hard to get me into.
Yeah, and I feel like that's a very common story for a lot of young women growing up, right? Where it's like you are looking for, someone to emulate in a lot of ways. And knowing what I know about you, being an amazing dancer, posting TikToks, being TikTok famous, I think you're hiding that part of your life from us, and we would love to see more of those TikTok covers. But I do think it makes a lot of sense that SNSD, Girls' Generation, was the genesis to your fandom and just everything you love about K-pop. Did you find a community growing up with the music and just finding friends to talk about K-pop with?
When in 2013, when my friend got me into K-pop, it was just me and her. We were both also like otaku, so we bonded. We became friends because we liked anime, and so she was the only person I knew that liked K-pop. Coming from a city that is basically like 98% Mexican, it was very like, why are you listening to a language that you don't know type of story that everyone understands. But the funny thing I would always tell like my friends or my cousins is like, I don't understand Spanish, so I can't listen to Spanish music. And so in the beginning, it was mainly just her, and I would only listen to like Girls' Generation, Sistar, Wonder Girls, and then it wasn't until 2015 with GOT7's Just Right when I was like, okay, I need like, because it was so cute, and I was just like, oh my god, maybe boy groups can be a thing for me. Like maybe I just won't stick to girl groups. And I think like Twice was coming as well, and I was just like, let me dive more into like K-pop. And because of Just Right and GOT7, I started like looking for people online, doing like different like sketchy websites that everyone tried so hard to like find people. Because I was already doing that for like anime. So I was just trying like to see. And then because of that, actually BTS won Social Top Artist, and so I was having more access to like more online friends. I wasn't on Twitter. Twitter was too hard for me at that time, so I was actually making friends off like Tumblr and like this game. It was like Gaia Online. I don't even know.
Yes, I remember Gaia Online.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so like that's how I mainly made like my anime K-pop friends. And then all thanks to BTS, it was more accessible. And then I found groups on like Facebook groups, and like I found like I think like it was like Instagram accounts, and I would just like start following and start like finding like fan made art and stuff. Kind of like away from like deviant art because it was dying at that time. And yeah, and then like 2017 is when I became a full-fledged army, and I was like, you know what, let me go on Twitter. Let me try this social network that everybody's on. And it was so hard for me, but the first year it was just my personal Twitter, and my friends got so annoyed that anything and everything I posted was BTS. And so they were just like, just make a fan account, like stop bothering us with your like weird K-pop stuff. And I was just like, you know what, fine, I will. And then I did. And that's how I mainly made more K-pop friends off Twitter.
Yeah, there's a similar entry point for K-pop and anime, right? I feel like just
Mm-hmm.
being kids of the internet and trying to find like media from Asia, from across the world.
Yeah.
It's difficult to like find conversations and ways to engage in a way that continues your growth as a person, but also continues just your collection of knowledge and information, and a way to celebrate it. Because I feel like once like the first like years of being a fan of anything, you're new to finding music. You're new to finding your community and people to talk to, and I don't know. I feel like your story is it's similar, but also unique in the sense that you had to like go back and forth with real people in your life and say like, hey, like this is what I like. Like if you don't like it, I gotta find people who share my common interest.
Yeah. Like
um,
at first I tried so hard to hide it, but then I was just like, no, like I'm not gonna hide what I like. So then yeah.
and that kind of takes us to the Soju Talk podcast, right? Because I think for the most part, I mean, Soju Talk is 3 years old. Congratulations on 150 episodes to the main show. And I would say, I mean, up until I started listening to it about 2.5 years ago, I never had a consistent community
Mm.
to just engage with and to have like a weekly routine of like a conversation with people who have now become my friends. So thank you, Doug, Warren, and Anita. Um,
Yes.
tell us about like how you found the podcast, and how did you kind of grow your fandom as you started to become more involved.
So I was actually scouting for podcasts. I was it was my last semester of uni. I had just came back from studying abroad in Hong Kong for a year, so a lot of my friends had either graduated or not my friends anymore. And so I was just like finding hobbies, like what do I want to do after I graduate? After I graduate, because my major is communications, it's so broad, and my minor is like international leadership, and I really wanted to work abroad. So I was just like, best of both worlds, K-pop, like Korea, like let me find something that's like a mix of both. And I was at that time I was like an avid listener to Eric Nam's podcast and like dive studios because I love dive studios. But I was kind of not tired, but I wanted something different, not like K-pop stars that like I can't really relate to because they're K-pop stars. And so I was just like on Apple Podcasts, and I was just like K-pop, like Korean podcast, K-pop podcast. I was just going through. I found this one podcast. I don't remember the name, but it was a BTS podcast. And like after like 2 or 3 episodes, I was like, "This isn't for me." Like, yes, I love BTS, but it was just like a little too much. And I was like, let me keep going. And then I saw Soju, and I was just like, wait, I love Soju, so this like SojuTalk must be for me. And so this was like 2019, September, October, around that area. So I think they were like season 2, season 3. I'm not sure. I think the first episode I watched was Itzy, maybe. I'm not sure. I think it was Itzy, but it was they were just so funny, like the back and forth. I found it funny that Anita was a flower. I was so confused the first episode. What? Okay, I listened to it. I think it was like a month into listening to it. I was just like, I listened to the that month and like I think the month before to be like, hey, like this is pretty fun, and they keep talking about Discord. What's this? And so I never heard of Discord. Like surprise, it wasn't until 2019 that I heard of Discord. And if you look at my Discord like date when I started and when I joined SojuTalk, it's literally like one day the next.
Nice,
Like
nice.
I literally just made Discord for SojuTalk, and yeah, and I found these amazing people. And I didn't and when I first joined the Discord, I wasn't really talkative. I was scared. I was like, "Oh, who are these people? Like, I don't know who these people are." I'm also like stressed because I'm about to graduate and I'm doing like my final paper, and yeah, it was just like a stressful time for me. And I think the main reason I started talking on the Discord is because I you guys do like these hangouts on voice chat, like, and Warren. I remember Warren specifically was on, and at this time for like a good like 2 3 months, I was like, this is like almost an idol point of view. Like this is like a person I watch weekly, like on a podcast. That I was like, I was getting into podcasting, so I was just like, oh my gosh. And so I joined, and I realized real fast he's just a normal person like me. And I was just like, like maybe this community won't be as scary. So then I unmuted myself and I was just like, hi, in the middle of the conversation. I don't even know what they were talking about, but I was just like listening. And like I just said hi, and everyone was like bombarded me with highs, and I felt so welcome. So I was just like, maybe I want to stay here. And then I downloaded the Discord app, and yeah, I
Wow.
join whenever I can.
Amazing story. A lot to unpack. So let's start with Itzy. It was icy at that time.
I
I
oh
100% remember exactly that period because yes, we are the crackhead bidsies on the server. So yes, all the dates are very etched into my memory. And yeah, so that does align with the period where the Discord was popping off because I've had Discord for like 3 or 4 years prior to joining the server, maybe 2 years. And then they mentioned it a few times on the show. I think I joined in the fall of that year, 2019. Um, and yeah, like you said, it's at first there's a lot of information. There's a lot of channels
yeah.
and a lot of places to find things. Sometimes you find what you're looking for. Sometimes you have no clue what the conversation is. And then also like the hesitancy, right, to like insert yourself socially because even though it's text channels, it does kind of feel like school in a lot of ways, where
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, where it's like you're the new kid, and it's like, oh, like I don't want to be too awkward, and I'm kind of shy, but I really want to make friends.
Yeah.
And then I think there was a period between 2019 and, well, the pandemic, of course, but even before the
Yeah.
pandemic, we all were just on voice chat a lot. Um, and then I do remember you being there a few times without speaking. And then once you did finally start to talk, you were very, very much a regular, very much comfortable being part of all of the fun things that we do. So, you know what? We're really glad to have you. And I'm glad that you felt included with the conversations and everyone greeting you so warmly. I do think that speaks to like the strength of the community, Soju Talk, and the inclusiveness that the crew has fostered over the past couple of
Yes.
years. So just it's kind of a little check in here. Like, where are you now emotionally with everything that you've experienced on the Discord over the past year and a half?
I think right now I'm like, I think in the beginning I was just trying so hard to fit in. Like, I was just trying to insert myself in every conversation. But now I'm just like, if I see a conversation I like, I join. And if I see a conversation I don't like, I don't join. So I'm just like floating around here and there. If because of I'm in Korea, if I'm able to join voice chat whenever I can, I do. But recently, I haven't. So no, yeah, I guess I'm just like a ghost here and there, pop up whenever I can. Since the time difference is just like 13 hours, 14-hour difference. So yeah, I'm just like here, and then, but if someone pings me, I do check as soon as I wake up. I'm like, okay, like I have a red like one. I need to check like what happened. Like this morning, like you tagged me on like this variety clip, and I was like, what? Like what's going on? I just woke up.
Yeah, the time zones are tricky, but we do appreciate your presence, and it's really nice that you are the representative on that side. Because I can't think of a person who's in South Korea right now. There might be people, but I don't know if they're active on the server. I
I don't. I haven't seen anybody introduce themselves in Korea.
Yeah,
More like other places in Asia, but not Korea.
yeah,
If I'm correct.
yeah. And I will say, just to add on to like your history in voice chat, we did appreciate when you turn on your camera to give us a tour of your neighborhood, and we felt like we were
Oh
in
yeah,
Korea.
even
For
grocery
That was
shopping.
great. We saw soju bottles and alcohol with different idols, and it just seemed so normal for you. It made me
And
feel like I was in Korea.
you guys said hi to every Adashi and Azuma that you saw.
We were so annoying. We were just saying 안녕하세요, but yeah, no. Again, it goes to just how comfortable we've all gotten on the server, and I do feel like a lot of that stems from the comfort of the conversations that the crew has. How Doug, Warren, and Nina are just really great about the open back and forth, and that kind of inspires us to have open back and forths with each other, and the ways that we've all made relationships, right? I feel like there is a nice variety in outlooks and the way people talk to each other, but I also feel like there is an appreciation that we have people in our lives now that share this interest, and I think it all
Yeah.
stems from that origin of yours, very similar to many, where we don't know where to go to talk to people. So we go to the internet, and
Yeah.
somehow we found a place that's very central and now a very important part of how we enjoy K pop.
So shout out to Warren for making me realize you're not an idol.
Yeah,
You're just a
Warren.
regular person.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think you're right. I think when you first listen to the podcast, you feel like, oh, they're so separated from us. They're so
Yeah.
like, we are consuming their content. So it's like, oh, you are on another level.
Yeah. And like coming from like watching like Eric Noms, I already had that mindset of like these people are idols, they're professionals. And then going to Soju Talk, I was like, I guess I placed them there in that like idol image. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, it goes to show that just being active and engaging with people goes a long way. And I
Mm.
think, whether you're an idol or you're just a person on the
Regular
internet,
person.
yeah, you are just a human. A
Mm.
human that we kind of love and adore, that we are going to spend a lot of time talking about right now, is the one Jun Somi. Um, she is a lovely human being. She came back with a brand new song on August 2nd this week with Dum Dum. But you and I have been fans of her for a really long time. As I see you doing the choreo, it's excellent. You
Yes,
are the
I'm
main
the
dancer.
lyrics.
Oh man! Well, when you do that, please post to TikTok because we will all like and share, and we will just forever be enamored by your dancing ability. But yeah, you and I have been big fans of her for a long time. I do feel like there are qualities about her that really stand out for us. But I want to get your take on this. I want to dig a little bit deeper. What stands out about Somi to you, and what is it about her, personality, her characteristics that you find most appealing?
I guess the most appealing for me is like she's shy at first. Like if you see like a lot of her like variety, she was very young. Like what she was like 15, 16 on Produce. And then for the twice, what was it 16? She was like what 14, 13. She was like a baby. And like she's so shy at first and it kind of like I resonated with her like that cuz I'm a very like extrovert, introvert. Like I'm an ambivert, very mixed. And just like seeing her like on Variety, like showcasing like she's shy at first, but then once like she's comfortable with you, she's like a firecracker. She's like all over the place, and she does not stop talking like me. I could just like it showed me that there's other people just like me that can be very shy, but then like in certain moments you just want them to stop talking because they're just everywhere, and she's just so cute, and like I have so even though like not so and like how she's like mixed as well. Like I guess in America, in America, like I'm since I was born in America and raised in America, I'm very like I'm American, or in Texas, I'm Texan. Not very like very like, secluded. Like I'm Texan. This is who I am. But then I go to Mexico, and it's like I don't know what you guys are saying, and like I am technically Mexican, but I like you guys don't classify me as Mexican, so it's very like finding someone that's like also mixed and also not caring. Like she just says what she says, and like she's just like so cute and like so bubbly, and I guess that's how I resonated with her so much because she reminded me a little of like myself when I was younger.
Yeah, that means a lot. Seeing people of like mixed background, mixed heritage, and kind of being a citizen of the world, right? I mean, she herself has said that she has three citizenships, I believe.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
does.
Canadian,
American, no, Canadian,
Canadian,
Nor was in
Netherlands,
Netherlands
and
and
then
Korea.
Korea, which is wild
Three
because
passports.
yeah,
Like,
um, and it really kind of goes to show that she does kind of reach a large number of people in a number of ways. For me, kind of like my first memories of her are um, just being that energetic center for a lot of things. I mean, she did get the
yeah,
center of IOI, but it's very
she
clear
wasn't
why.
very, she wasn't very center though.
Yeah, they mixed her, they moved her around a lot, even though they did call
Yeah,
her a center. But I mean, it does help that her personality and like a lot of the variety stuff was just
yeah,
very much like showcased her. Because like I think all the girls on IOI they're still fairly young and they're still adapting and
yeah.
adjusting to like their character within K-pop. But Somi just
Mm.
had a natural ability to find the camera, right?
She's the maknae on top.
She's
Maknae on
yes,
top.
God, and she refers to that still to this day, which is kind of amazing. I do
Yeah,
appreciate
well, because
that.
like all her friends are like older than her. Everyone she knows is older than her. Even though now that she's like 20, like she's still maknae.
Yeah, it's weird to think that she's only 20, even though she's been in the business for so long, and all of her friends are like established idols.
Yeah, but she's been like in personnel because of her dad. Like even before like when she did like the Twice variety show, like she's been on TV since she was a baby.
Yeah, no,
Basically.
a long career being in front of the camera and being stage
Yeah.
ready, essentially. Um, so let's go into IOI a little bit because I still love this group. You know, they had a little mini reunion a few months ago.
I know.
Very,
I missed it.
it was a very mini reunion. You could catch like little clips here and there on like
Yeah.
various websites and Twitter just to kind of get the sense of it. I really wish the world was open and we can have like a proper something on stage,
And yeah.
but you know we got what we got, and I wanted to kind of take into your favorite memories of her kind of in those early stages of SOMI because you mentioned 16. She was very popular with JYP. um,
Yeah. I don't know. Like I honestly don't know what happened for her to leave. Cause from what we saw on a like a TV personnel, like they were so close.
yeah, I think it's just different goals, right? Because I think JYP is very
Yeah.
much focused on the group, and
True.
it became. I mean, I think they talked about
She
this on the show a few times
yeah.
that
She'd be too popular to be in a group.
yeah, yeah, and that may take away too much of the focus from like if she was going to be part of ITZY, it may have taken too much focus away from the group, which
Yeah.
yeah, it's understandable on both sides of it, right? And I think JYP and Somi are doing quite well, so no hard feelings there. But yeah, her IOI days I think are peak Somi so far for me, and I love everyone in IOI. I still follow them even though they're not idols anymore. It's just
Chongha, hello. You
Chung,
can't miss
yeah,
that
well,
queen.
yeah, Chung is just killing it everywhere. She's God, she's yeah.
She's something else.
I can't put words together sometimes when I think about how successful, how amazingly powerful of a personality she is.
I've seen her live. That's like the most I can say.
You've been in the same air as Chunga, so
Hmm.
we are all jealous because we are not in South Korea. So we hope
Oh,
that
this was in Hong Kong. It was
oh
not in Korea.
oh that's right. You spent time. You've been literally everywhere in Asia. So you know we are all living vicariously through you. And I did want to ask, you know, some of your favorite memories from IOI. I've got a few, but you know, I wanted to throw it to you first. If there was anything that stuck out to you within the time of Somi as a member of a group before she became the soloist that she is today.
I was actually like, even though she was very high in the beginning, I because of her audition, like I wasn't disappointed with her audition. I was just like lukewarm on like her audition and her getting B in the beginning. So I didn't think Somi was gonna be center, even though she was like so high. Like she was like first for like the whole season except like once. I was just like, I don't know. Like I don't know if like the because since the voting was mainly in Korea and like yes, she was like she was really appealing internationally. I was just like, I don't know. Like, will she be center? Like she's obviously gonna make the group, but like I was just very like tippy toeing on her during IOI. It wasn't until I think like because I was like my favorite in during produce wasn't surprisingly Somi, but it wasn't Chonga either. Who did I follow? I don't even remember her name because she got eliminated like halfway,
It's been so long.
and
I don't
it's been so
remember.
long. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's been so long,
I can
and so
only
I
remember
was just
Soyeon.
oh yeah,
Which funny enough, like Soyeon and Somi are really tight still, which is kind of cool.
yeah. And like the girl that I was like super like oh my gosh like I hope she makes it. She got eliminated halfway, and I was just like okay, like I need to find someone like new. Like I need to find who like I can like imaginary vote for because I can't vote. And I was like it was with I think it was the dance episode with like the bang bang was it bang bang
Yes.
the one with Ariana Grande. It was that episode where I was just like, oh my gosh, like, and then her little funny like singing moment, her little acting moment. I was just like, who is she? Like, at this point, I didn't like really know SOMI. Um, because I didn't watch the Twice variety show, so I was very much like, she's JYP. That's all I knew about her. And I was like, oh my gosh, she's so funny. Like, I need to go back on the other episodes and like watch, like look for her, and like focus on her. And she was just like her. That's when her and Chongha really caught my eye, because when I also went back to look for Chongha, she wasn't only her audition. She wasn't very seen, even though she was A. Like, I didn't really see her in the beginning, and I was just like maybe this is why like she didn't have that much screen time, so maybe this is why I didn't really focus on her. I saw SOMI, like for sure, JYP, but no, yeah, I really had to go back and like look at SOMI for Produce 101
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah, and I mean, it all came together right when they became IOI, and they were all just incredibly popular. And I think they
Yeah,
were all able to like show a lot of the things that we were hoping for throughout the show. I think if you followed the show, it's really just a product of screen time and airtime
yeah,
and
yeah.
editing. But then once they were able to kind of promote and really just be the main focus of music, then you got to see a lot of really cool things from Somi, Chungha, Yujang. I can go on because they're kind of all amazing. Just a
They're
quick,
all so cute.
yeah, just a quick IOI memory from me. When they were on Weekly Idol, and Chungha started to dance to Rihanna and Daft Punk, and Somi loses her mind. It's just an amazing
She's
video.
like fanning.
Yeah, she's fanning her. I was like, gosh. Um, and then so I pulled up the clip online and I was watching it. It's 4 minutes long, and Chang'e was dancing for like a minute and a half, and then all the other girls start to dance, and you're like, oh yeah, they're all super charismatic, they're all talented, and it just goes to kind of show the relationship they have for each other. They have natural chemistry, and till this day, they are all tight. They're all really good
Like
friends.
I think like a couple of them were on Somi's like her own variety
Hmm.
like show, like the I'm Somi.
I am Somi, yeah, the
Yeah,
vlog show that she had last year.
yeah. And that was like super cute seeing them. Like she made her own like makgeolli since she was like, I'm legal age, and in Korea, like as literally like in January 1st or like December, like the last day of December, like there's a huge line. There's usually known to be a huge line of like teenagers about to turn of like legal age to drink, waiting outside for midnight because like at midnight gets everyone gets an age like added, so it's not like you don't wait on your birthday. It's like everybody at once.
Mm,
So
got
that
it.
you
Yeah.
usually see a whole line. So I think it was so funny seeing so many like I'm gonna make my own makgeolli because I can drink. Like it was just so cute. Like
Man.
she shows her maknae self there.
Yeah, just like that excitable, like everything is new,
Yeah.
everything needs to be like taken advantage of right away. But yeah, no, I do love a lot of like her energy that she brings. Um, before we get on to like her music, I know that you had like a very special moment on a variety like a
Oh
few years
yes, like
ago. What was
it
that
was.
moment that you enjoyed from her?
It's like Hello Counselor. It's so like it's not dumb, but it's just like she was just like a guest, and they were selling some of their the idols that were there were selling some of their things like for charity. Like it was like someone bought it and they donated that money for charity. And Somi showed off her taekwondo-ness because I felt like she didn't really get to show off like how talented she is on taekwondo until then. It was she showed like the kick that like she does like whenever they're like do the kick, like she does the kick and like she like turns around and stuff. She sold her first taekwondo like suit, like it's a kid suit, like so even if the person that bought it can't even wear it because it's for a little kid. And like her black belt and her shoes for $700, and that's only because they capped it. They like stopped and like okay, no more. Like I mean, 700 is the max. Like you guys need to stop. Um, and then they made like the four people competing for her taekwondo suit to like do a trick or something. But $700 for charity, and she didn't have to do anything.
Yeah, it was a really cool segment because you do get to see a little bit more of her taekwondo side. And
Yeah.
the fact that she's a black belt, I think she's a second degree black belt, third degree black belt. I forget. I have it written down somewhere. Taekwondo. Yeah, it's she has a black belt. She's a very high degree
Yeah.
black belt, and she does her famous kick.
No.
And yeah, I think the segment itself was really cool because they got to bid on it like an auction, and then
Yeah.
they capped it at $700, like you said. And I think it just goes to show that even back in 2016, she had a great following between all of the programs that she was on, and she is just a very likable person in a lot of ways. And I even think like 2016, she is still developing her character, but she has a natural charisma about her.
Yeah. I think like after IOI, and then she did Oni Slam Dunk too. Um, that really like she really discovered who she was. I think it was that like after IOI like era that she was like, okay, this is who I am. This is how, like this is I have like the fan base already. Like, let me discover who I am as a person and then as an artist. Because like she didn't know where she was going.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a great lesson, right, for just being a young person coming of age, and having the world in front of you. How do you take advantage of like your skill, your natural ability, but also kind of like work in different ways to appreciate those around you. And I think all that kind of showed through all the different projects that she was doing. Yeah, all kind of leading into music, where she has her solo debut in June 13th, 2019, with Birthday. Till this day, she has 4 songs. So she has Birthday, Out of My Head, which is the second song off of that single. And then last year is What You Waiting For. And this year, on August 2nd, with Dum Dum. All right, Priss, you are a big fan. Let's talk about Dum Dum. What are your overall thoughts, and what do you think about the stages so far, specifically the Studio Choom stage?
Oh my god, Studio Choom is amazing. Like just that like studio is just amazing. But I feel like this song was very like What You Waiting For was very Western, so I feel like that's why a lot of people were like, I like it, I don't like it. And I think Birthday was a lot of like K-pop. Like it was like K-pop trying to be as much as um like out there as like possible. I guess also to get like attention from people outside of looking at her as the JYP like John SOMI and reinventing herself. But I feel like Dum Dum was very a mix of both. Like it had the good of the K-pop and the good of the Western and mixed into one. And I guess that's why a lot more people are liking this, because it's more like it's so good. Like the story is very like high teen. Like even though she's 20, like it's like very Mean Girls like style. And the blonde, oh, she just looks so good in blonde. So like visually she's so amazing, and then like vocally like she rapped like real good, and I was like very surprised. I was like, wow, like she's spitting fire right here. And I just like musically it was just really good. Like I have it on repeat like when I go to my school. Like when I'm on the bus for 20 minutes, I just listen to that one song because it's just so good. And it's like visually like just she's so cute. I really love that whole like angel look, and then she turns like all red in the chorus, so it goes from like white pure to like red. So it's like the two of like the angel and the devil, the very typical like two different, like her two different personalities is one, like it's her. And then she does the whole like that little segment of like Carrie, like her doing the slumber party. And it was just like the bathroom like section of the music video reminded me so much of Rosé's Gone. The like section, I was just like, this looks familiar. Like, what is this? And it was just like so cute. Like the whole like prom and just like yeah, like the music video was just so amazing. And then Studio Choom's like staging is. I wish in the beginning she had more choreography, because she just like stands still and like all her background dancers move. Like I just want a little bit more, like a little bit more choreo. Like give me like birthday choreo back, please. But the overall is just so amazing. Like she's so cute and like so gorgeous. Like I just love the blondes. I want to go blondes because of her.
Yeah, no. The music video itself, I am one for stories. So just
Mm,
seeing all the different homages to the teen movies from the 90s and
yeah.
2000s, even if you've never seen any of those movies, a lot of those images are just very present in a lot of different media. So it's all very recognizable. And it very much captures that sense of being awkward in school, pining for a boy, and then I interpreted a lot of those scenes as she's imagining like the perfect scenario, and then in real
Yeah.
life it's like, oh, but I run into you in the hallways. Just kidding. Knock over your books.
Well, I think she said this in an interview, or I heard this somewhere, where she's like, the main reason of the song is like dum dum. It's like, don't change yourself for a guy. Like you're like, she's like, oh Pablo, like don't be stupid. Like don't change who you are just for a guy. Like you be who you want to be. And so that's how she goes from the white to the red. It's like showing like this is me. Like this is who I am. And no, yeah, it was just the message was just so like smart and like cute, even with just the height, yeah, the high teen, very mean girls. It was so cute.
Yeah, like if you're awkward, be awkward. I mean, that's
Awkward,
yeah,
yeah,
that's kind of just how the world works. And if he doesn't like you because you're trying to be someone else, then he's probably not for you,
yeah,
right?
like go away.
Yeah. And the Studio Tube stuff that you mentioned earlier, it's amazing. I think Studio Tube produces just the greatest stages, honestly.
Yeah, sure.
If you want your favorite idols to be the center focus and highlighted in this really incredible like emotion
Like
lighting
studio
way,
production, yeah.
yeah, then you'll definitely get all of that. Side note, I am a simp for a lot of the YGX dancers, and she got all of them. She got
Really?
all the female dancers. She pretty much got all of the top well, not top, but like the choreographers of the group from YGX. They're all there.
Oh my
So
god.
I don't know who's left for one Lisa Manoban. Hopefully at the end of this month, but she got all the females, so Lisa probably has all the males.
Other males.
Yeah,
Let's go! I'm so excited for that if that actually happens.
yeah. You know what? And you know, I will concede that if that means you know Lisa gets a little bit of celebration on that end because I think that would be kind of cool too.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, just kind of like continue on like her other promotional things that she's done. Um, she did a 1 the K video.
Oh
Um,
yeah, she read a lot of her like comments, even from like IOI. Like she started from like IOI and all the way till now, and she spoiled a little bit because Somi's a spoiler. Like she spoils everything, and one picture is showed on the 1 the K. 5 emojis, like 5 star emojis. So someone commented like, "Somi, you're such a spoiler. Are you gonna have 5 songs?" And then she just looks at the camera like, so I really hope this single comes with a mini album because I'll cry. Like if it actually happens.
yeah, I mean, I hope so. I think there's a lot of hints that she's gonna have more music, hopefully by the end of this year. But you know, we'll wait and see. You know, I'm cautiously optimistic with everything that Somi does because I love
Exactly.
yeah, I love her stuff when she's on Variety. She makes her presence known. Right now, she's making the rounds quite a bit for like other programs. A lot of radio shows, a lot of radio shows that
Mm.
have not yet been translated. So please, subtitles, someone get on that. She,
I tried watching the Wendy one, but the subtitles are a little weird. And I'm like, is this really what they're
yeah,
saying? Like,
someone, I think someone did that who is not a native English speaker because it's a little
um,
off. Yeah.
yeah, I was very confused and I was trying so hard because they're both so cute and I was like, I'll listen to it later.
Yeah, yeah. Hopefully it gets uploaded soon because yeah, they came out earlier this week, and I would really love to see well hear their conversation. Also, them talking about Canada because they're both from
Yeah.
Canada. There's another piece of content that came out that I loved. It was Canadian poutine with Somi, and she makes poutine with oh shoot, what's his name?
And I'm not surprised that
Yeah.
she didn't really have poutine.
Yeah, no, she makes poutine and it's delicious. So they make candied bacon. Well, they show it right, and then she tries it and
Yeah, and
she's
like pulled pork.
Hmm.
It looks so good. I watched it at like 9 in the morning before I taught, and I was like, oh, like I'm hungry now.
Yeah, it just looks so delicious. And throughout that like presentation and everything, she got to talk about like her process, and a lot of her feelings about the pandemic and the promotion she did last year, right, where the studios were
Yeah,
empty, she didn't really have fans, and she misses that audience feedback, the chanting, and being with
yeah.
people, and the
And like
energy.
she got her first win with like no fans. Like
Yeah,
that's so sad.
yeah. But she does appreciate that she's able to do what she's doing. It's just it's tough, right? Because you don't get that extra, that extra energy you get from the people who support you. I mean, not to say like the producers don't support her, but in a different way.
Yeah,
Um,
like they're doing their job. Like
yeah,
her fans are like there for her.
yeah. You said something a little bit earlier about kind of her mixed background and why it connects with you so much. Um, talking with people from across the world and just all the different backgrounds and all the different ways in which we see music and culture. This might be a bigger question, but I'll ask it anyways. What do you feel about SOMI that even if all art is subjective, but what do you feel about her being just very accessible to so many different people of different backgrounds?
I think it's good. Like since she has so many backgrounds, like people can relate to her. Like I feel like the internet does amazing with like idols like Somi that is like mixed race or like idols that are like Korean American. Like I feel like um it's just like allows them to be able to connect to people that can relate to them because there's a lot of like Korean Canadians, Korean Americans, Chinese Americans like that can find someone like, oh my gosh, like they're just like me. And when I was younger I did that with Disney princesses, and like now I can do that with K-pop idols or like actresses or like just different things. And I feel like being able to connect to like a wide of like variety of people, like it shows like the world is one. Like even though we don't may not speak the same language, we may not look the same, like we're still people and we still can connect to something.
Yeah, and I think that really goes to show the importance of music being kind of the universal language in a lot of ways. And yes, like K-pop is from Korea with primarily Korean artists, but I do have to give a shout out to a lot of the companies, even especially the bigger companies between
Yeah.
Hybe and YG, who yes, sometimes all English songs may not resonate with the purist, but it goes a long way to reach people. And sometimes it's that spark, that beginning of getting someone interested, that pushes you into kind of the rest of the world of K-pop, the rest of the world of this interest, this fandom we all have.
And if you may not like K-pop, you might like something else of Korea, like Korean dramas or the food or the culture. Like, and it doesn't even have to be Korea. It can go all the way from China, Japan, Taiwan, Thailand. Like, you can find it anywhere. You just have to look.
Yeah, and I think it also circles back to your origin too, right? Where your entry point was anime, and it's a common entry point for a lot of people. But I think that speaks like volumes to the fact that something that's in a different language appealed to you, that pulled you into K-pop, and now you are an informed super fan of something that is shared by so many people. And I think that type of messaging and that type of outcome is something we all hope for the things that we like and appreciate. Kind of leading me into something that another thing that you and I connect over. We are just big YG simps. So Blackpink is a
Yes.
group that you and I both love. We watched the show together on voice chat. Um, it was a fun experience. I was sufficiently drunk and I was
Oh yeah.
enjoying everything. Yeah, and you know, let's go on to like the main reason why we're talking about Blackpink. So Rosie, I think she is our favorite member. We love her. We love her music. On the ground, I get what they were going for. I love
I feel
Gone,
like
but go ahead.
yeah, like I can compare like On the Ground and Gone to Somi's Birthday and Out of My Head. It's very similar. I loved Out of My Head, and Birthday was like okay, okay, like, it's good. Like it's a good debut song. The same with Rose's like On the Ground. I was like okay, I get it. I guess and amazing. Like
Yeah.
it was just so amazing.
Even though On the Ground didn't work for me like 100%, I still understand the appeal and I still understand like the reason it's successful. Because, like, yes, it was actually quite successful in Korea, and then it was also successful in Western markets. And I feel like that is also something that needs to be recognized, right?
Yeah.
Say what you will if you dislike the song or not. I mean, we're all entitled to our opinions, but it's just really nice to see, you know, people succeed. And honestly,
Yeah.
it's music, so
I'm
it's
just excited we got the solo.
yeah,
Like literally.
like it's music, right? It shouldn't be like that
Yeah.
serious of a thing. It's not like
It's not gonna
altering
solve it's
it.
not gonna solve world peace and like world hunger. It's
Yeah, it's
music.
music. It's something to enjoy. And you made the comparison, Somi and Rose having very similar um, positions of appeal to Western audience. How do how do you reconcile that? And what do you think overall with the fact that Somi and Rose, essentially coming from YG, both of them have that image, and what direction do you see them going into moving forward?
I feel like with Somi, with what you're waiting for, really shows that like she can do the like American pop style. Like a lot of other K-pop groups try to do something like more Western and it doesn't really fit their image. But with Somi, like it fits her image so well. And with like Rose, so she does so many English covers, and like she did this cover of The Only Exception that just shows like she's it. Like she can like if she would want to go to America and be like an like ballad or and be like she would be successful because she has the voice. Like they both have the voice that like is like recognizable in the Western market. And I feel like that's how a lot of Westerners really like gravitate towards both of them because they recognize the type of voice and the style that they sing in. Because people don't like change. We don't like something different. We like to stay in our little bubble. And I feel like both of their voices and like how they like what they sing and how they sing really like attracts them because it's recognizable but different at the same time, but it's tolerable so that people don't push it away.
What do you think is the impact on public consciousness of representation? Seeing two people of Asian descent being wildly successful and now essentially penetrating and infiltrating the US market.
I feel like as like I'm a minority as well, like it feels like it's just a different feeling inside that it's like oh my gosh, like this person looks like me. And it's the same like for me, like when I was younger, I aspired to be like Selena Quintanilla. Is it Quintanilla? I think that's her last name. Sorry. What's it called? And like she was a girl from Texas. She didn't really know Spanish, but she was singing Spanish, and that's how she was learning. And like she was just so amazing and just so out there. So I feel like now, like the younger generation is doing the same with like Somi and like Rose and just like K-pop in general because they get to see on TV like people. These people look like me. Like I can be them. Like if I work hard, I can do what they're doing, or I can be as successful as them. So I feel like any minority, like on TV, like in media spotlight, it's just great. Like like minority representation or people of color. It's just amazing to finally see them prominently like on TV and media focus.
Yeah. And again, it's not to say that they are like the blueprint to do it, right? But
Yeah, no,
it's a
it's
start. And yeah,
yeah.
and I feel like sometimes, us in the K-pop community where we consume it all the time, me personally, I forget to zoom out sometimes and see that the general audience doesn't see the same thing I see every single day.
Yeah.
So to them, when they see a person who isn't your typical, Western American person be really successful, that goes a
They're
lot.
confused.
Yeah, they get confused, but it goes a long way to kind of change their mindset and change their worldview of what it means to be successful in entertainment.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a very optimistic approach that I have for it, but I also feel like that goes a long way in exposing people to the upper capacity of empathy towards people who look different from you.
I
And
actually have this funny like little thing that kind of goes along with this. I think it was the last Olympics, and it was soccer, and it was Korea against another team. But if Korea beat this team, Mexico goes like to the next round. I think it was to the semifinals, and Korea did, and it was so funny because my aunts that was very like my mom's side of the family was very like, ew, like why you listen to like these like Chinese boys always. And after that happened, my aunt came up to me and like, you can marry Korean, you can see your Korean boys. Like, you know what? We love Koreans. So it's like, it really shows like, okay, like these people, these like older generations are getting it. Like they're like accepting, even though it's something that's so little as like soccer. Like they're like understanding. Like
yeah,
it's not just like our little bubble. It's everything now.
yeah, it's important to recognize unifying events like soccer, like the World Cup, or like K-pop, and K-pop being part of the world consciousness with media and entertainment. And it kind of flows perfectly into kind of our closing thoughts. It's something I like to ask brand new guests all the time on the show. So I'm going to ask it to you. What are you looking forward to? What are you hopeful for with regards to K-pop and how the rest of the world is now starting to catch on to how awesome it is?
What I'm hoping for is just, I guess, more acceptance. Like people seeing this as like normal, not like, oh my god, they're breaking records, or like, oh my god, the toxic people that like their fans are just buying everything, and that's why like they're on top. It's like no, it can be like something normal. So hopefully in the future we can see like NCT like on or Blackpink or Twice on like top 10, not just BTS. And like we can maybe BTS win a Grammy, like something like outrageous now, but in the future, hopefully it's a norm. And just more diversity overall. I really, really want to see not Twice, Blackpink or like BTS. Yeah, I guess also because Twice kind of did a little bit more like the Spanish like R&B, because Twice kind of did it a little bit with alcohol free. So I really want to see more of that like Spanish flavor into K-pop. Just want to see how it looks, because alcohol free was so good. As much as some people did not like it, I liked it a lot. I love the dance too, and I just want to see, I guess, a little bit more like Latin flavor into K-pop, but also just like more collabs and just more things that we can do. Hopefully concerts soon. And just like I also want this pandemic to be over, because yeah, I can't anymore.
Yeah, and it goes into kind of this idea of like globalized media and the fact
Yeah.
that we can all come together through music and start to see a lot of collaborations. I think K-pop has done a lot throughout its history, but still very specific to just Korean consumers or like the niche consumers
Yeah.
around the world. But now, because it has a global reach in Western audiences, it goes into the homes of people in the Midwest that, if they start to hear and see those types of collaborations you were talking about, that they can
I
at least,
will.
yeah, be
Think
exposed to
of
that
it.
idea, right? And I think that's kind of the next step where, tying everything back in, it's just about normalizing it and having it
And
be.
I guess I also want to see like how Girls Planet like 999 is like China, Japan, Korea. I want to see like anybody in the world like in a K-pop group, because that would be freaking awesome. Because we're already gonna get NCT Africa apparently, so I want to see more like like Indonesians and like people from like Hanbin from like Vietnam and like the Philippines. Like I want to see more of that as well. Like because that would be so awesome. I'm a huge Hanbin fan from Ireland, so I want to see more of that too.
Yeah, no, I think it's in the works. I feel like it's
Yeah.
slowly getting there, and hopefully this next decade, the 2020s, will be that, right, where it's including other cultures that aren't just Korean, Japanese, or Chinese,
Yeah.
and like the handful of Southeast Asians. It's all kinds of people, and I feel like that's an exciting time moving forward. All right, well, Priss, thank you so much for joining me. This was a very
Yes.
fun conversation. It's really nice to go a little bit deeper on SOMI and hearing your origin. Is there anything else you want to close on before we head out?
No, I just want to thank everybody and y'all that to bring me into this like community because I haven't felt this close to a community in like ever, like in an online aspect. As much as I have never met any of you guys, you guys are also, I can count as like close friends. So yeah, just if anybody wants like to talk about Korea, I'm here. Just pin me.
We will definitely ping you, and you are our representative in South Korea right
Korea.
now.
And if anybody wants to go grocery shopping with me again, just let me know.
Yeah, we gotta schedule that. We gotta schedule grocery shopping with Priss because I think that's a very fun segment. And someone should record that and just like throw that up on one of the accounts. We have 1 million community content accounts now, so we should save that somewhere. All right. Well, let's close it out there. Thank you again, Priss. And thank you everyone for listening to the Soju sessions on the SojuTalk Nation podcast feed. Subscribe on YouTube, follow on Spotify or your preferred podcast platform, and continue the conversation on the SojuTalk K-pop podcast Discord. For Priss, this is Crispy, and this has been the Soju Sessions.